So, hey there, everyone. I am so excited to get this new part of our Facebook group going. We are going to be interviewing agents who are standout players. And hopefully, eventually, we'll get through every agent in the group. But we're starting with the people who are most active in our group. And one of those people who is a regular on every of our Thursday morning virtual coffees. He's a regular contributor and always there to help out any agents who need some help. Chris, I can hear it in the background. I
I
can hear it
know.
playing.
I don't know what happened. It came on the Facebook crew. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
So we're live on Facebook, obviously.
Yes.
Really cool, really cool. But Chris Dowell out of Kansas City is a Berkshire Hathaway agent, and he's been an agent for how long now, Chris?
33 years.
Both hands, both feet.
I had to
And
put my
what's that?
feet, my hands, and I was looking at other things to measure, count everything.
Yeah, so 33 years.
Yeah.
He's seen it all in this industry. Before we went live, we were talking about what the MLS looked like back in the 80s. And so I'll let him share that with you. But I just want you guys to all meet him. Chris is always so helpful in our group. Anyone having challenges, he's willing to impart that wisdom that he's built up, that's taken all of the hair from him, and share it with everyone else. So Chris, we just absolutely love you. So thank you for hopping on with me today.
Thank you. Thank you. I
Well,
love being in the group.
excellent.
Yeah.
So Chris, tell us a little bit about your journey. Like, how did you get into real estate? Like, what did you do before and how'd you get into it?
Oh, interesting. I was a athlete back in college, and I was studying engineering, and I was looking for a part-time job, and my uncle was national trainer for Coldwell Banker, and he did training for, obviously for Coldwell Banker nationally. And I was doing some research for him one summer as an intern, and it just evolved from there. And he was a real estate agent in his past life, and before he became a trainer. And his company got bought out by Coldwell Banker, and so that's how he got affiliated with the Coldwell Banker. And then I started doing some research for my uncle, and then started doing prospecting and doing some door knocking and things like that. And then it just kind of took off from there. I had the opportunity. I worked for an engineering firm for a while, for about 5 years. And I was coming back home to Kansas City and doing open houses and doing things here in Kansas City. And my girlfriend at the time didn't want me traveling as much. So I was kind of doing a little bit more real estate here in Kansas City. And I eventually left the engineering firm, started doing real estate. And it was kind of funny, like within 2-3 weeks, we broke up. And that's when I met my wife, like soon after that. And it was kind of funny and everything. So I just been doing real estate ever since. Everything.
Excellent, excellent. And so you said you were an athlete. What did you do?
I was a runner and a cyclist at the time. So did a lot of running and cycling. Did a lot in Colorado.
Oh, love it. Yeah. Colorado has a lot of mountains, so I bet you those are challenging bike rides.
It was really funny. I was 140 pounds wet, and I loved the mountains because it was always these big guys that weighed 200 pounds that thought they were really good on mountains, but they were just carrying too much weight. And 140 pounds, and I was geared right on the bike. It was pretty easy for me. I mean, obviously, a real steep hill after 100 miles is pretty tough. But I think it was a challenge. It was fun for me because I saw the big guys struggling. And I knew that when I got on the downhills and the straights, or the flat areas, they would just cream me and stuff. So I loved it. I love the mountains myself. everything.
Gotcha. Well, tell us how that translates. I'm sure there's lots of things that you did in, cycling and running that really translate into the real estate industry, right?
Right. Sports really plays a big part in what I do in real estate. I ran for a cross country team here in Kansas City for high school, and then ran in college. And there's a lot of practice, and there was a lot of days that I was doing a lot of running, a lot of exercising, a lot of rehabbing from injuries and stuff like that. And I remember those 100-degree days that I wanted to quit, and I just kept on going. And it's just like in real estate, it's like there's those days that things aren't clicking and everything's going wrong, and you just grunt it out and get through it. And it gets better at the other end of the tunnel and stuff.
Okay,
So
words of wisdom. It gets better at the other end of the tunnel.
yeah, yeah,
Love it. So, I know from spending a lot of time with you on Thursday mornings, our virtual coffees. Chris is a regular there and has been for a long time. I think since when we started those calls. Um, I know how passionate you are about sports in general and all those Kansas City teams. Like I've seen it, the football, the basketball, I've seen it all.
yeah.
Um, so what's your outcome for this next upcoming season? What are you thinking?
Well, there's a couple of things. I think my Wildcats will win the Big 12 in football. I think they're going to beat the Kansas Jayhawks in basketball, and we're going to have a really good basketball team. And then I really think my Chiefs are going to be back at the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl again. Sorry to disappoint everybody in football land, but I think the Chiefs are going to be back.
Of course. And so, Chris, why don't you tell us what your standard day looks like when you get up in the morning till the time you go to bed? Tell us, because I know you have a very structured day. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
So tell us what your typical day looks like.
Oh, geez. I think everybody's going to go, what? I start at 5 o'clock in the morning at the latest, and I usually go out for about a 4 to 5 mile walk, mixed in with some, running sprints, some different exercises. Then I get back, I get on, look at my notes, look at my appointments for the day. I'm usually at the office by 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm calling my new expireds at 8 o'clock sharp. I'm usually done with the new expireds by 8:30. From 8:30 to 9 o'clock, I'm calling the new FSBOs in town. So I'm calling all the new FSBOs. And then from 9 to 10, I'm calling all the expireds and FSBOs that are on my list that I've been connected with. Just seeing if there's anything I can do for them, and stuff. Then from 10 to 11, I'm doing a lot of geographic, farming, SOI farming. Depends on, if I have a call around one of my listings or call around one of my sold listings or whatever. And then from 11 to 12, I'm following up with people that have contacted me through one of my databases or Facebook or whatever. So like this morning, I looked and I had 18 people I had to follow up with, people that contacted on my website, people came through Facebook, asked a question, things like that. So that's what I'm doing from 11 to 12. Like today, that took me a little bit over, so I didn't finish until about 12:30. Usually I like to get done at 12 because I usually like to eat lunch right at 12. So then I hit my lunch, and then from 1:30 on, I'm in appointments, either doing a video if I don't have an appointment, and I'm usually done by 5 o'clock. And I might have to go show a couple homes or might have a listing appointment in the evening. And then after that, I usually eat dinner about between 5 and 6. And then I might have another appointment here and there. After I'm done with that, I go on another walk, and usually try to end the day with like a 2 to 4 mile walk at the end of the day. Go do some weights, things like that, and then do something with my family, my wife, and so forth. That's my Monday through Thursday schedule. Friday's a little bit different, and Saturday and Sunday, I'm up, I make my phone calls, and then the rest of the day I'm playing around if I hit my goals.
Excellent. I love that. You have a very set schedule for the days, and then you get to play. I love it.
Yes. Yeah. Well, only if I hit my goals. If I don't hit my
Okay.
goals, I mean, there's days that I don't hit my goals. Like there was a couple of days last week that I did not hit my goals, and I was making phone calls between 7 and 9 and stuff.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So that's real dedication. So tell us when you take a listing,
Yeah.
give us an idea for all of the people out there who might be looking to sell their home. Give us an idea of what you do. I know how hard you work and how you work with the clients to get the listing. But once you've got the listing and you're working with these clients, give us a picture of what you do and what that process looks like.
Yeah, it's really automated on my part. As soon as I get the listing, CJ, my assistant, who's my son, he takes control of everything. He does the pictures, he gets the marketing going, he gets everything in the MLS. He gets, the different verbiage going. We get together and talk in our meetings, talk about, how we need to change it. We use a lot of AI to write things. And then he sets up the social media channels, gets the social media ads going, and so forth and like that, and then gets it all set up on the MLS, gets it all set up on our sewing solution product. And he pretty much takes care of everything. I get brought in when there's an offer or we're having a problem with something. So if everything's clicking real good, he takes care of about 80% of what goes on when we take a listing. So everything's all automated. We have a checklist, and he just goes through the checklist and does everything. He's a very detailed kid. He's like extremely like we were going through on lunch today, going through all the marketing stuff and stuff that we were supposed to get done next week. He's already got done and stuff. Yeah.
It's wonderful to have the right person with the right personality that you
Yeah.
can trust in that type of job, right?
Oh yeah, and it's sad. Like my last clients, I actually had a closing yesterday, and my clients were like, "Who are you?" And they were joking because obviously I did the listing appointment with them and stuff like that. But CJ took care of everything for me. And I said, "Well, how did he do?" And he goes, "Oh my God, he's awesome. I'd recommend him to everybody else." And I have a client closing here today, this afternoon after we meet here. And my client called CJ to double check everything. And so, no, Chris is going to be there. And he goes, "Oh, I thought you'd be doing it since you've been handling everything and stuff." And CJ's a licensed real estate agent and is very detailed on everything. And it's a hoot because everybody it's real seamless. He's got everything really, does a really good job on handling clients and stuff.
Excellent. I love that your processes are so dialed in.
Oh yeah, definitely. So he's got it all automated. Everything's ready to go. So as soon as we get a listing, it's all going and stuff.
Excellent. And so I want to know, when you're working with buyers, what is the most interesting thing that you've heard said in the car?
Oh boy.
Be
Well,
clean. This is a family show.
yeah, in 33 years, my broker and I were just talking about this last week, and I can create a video series that will just blow people's mind on things that happen. But I showed a house a couple weeks ago, and I kept on reminding the clients that when we go into homes, don't say too much, don't say very much about the house, if you like it or what you're going to offer on or like that. And they just, they didn't listen to me. So we walked into a house and they're talking the whole time through the house. And I kept on putting my fingers up to my lips, like, guys, we weren't even in the car 10 minutes and they already got a phone call from the seller's best friend that they looked at the house, and they go, how do you know? And they go, the seller has cameras in the house. And it was just, it was just kind of funny. And that's happened to me about 2 or 3 times where a client has said something and in a house, and it's come back and we found out what they said and stuff, like that. But in 33 years of doing real estate, I've had, I had a situation where I was representing the buyer. He was a postmaster for the post office, and he was relocating to Kansas City. And we went to do the walkthrough, and it was beautiful. The house was great, fabulous. And so we went and did the walkthrough. We went to closing at 10 o'clock. And then I went to lunch with my clients afterwards because we weren't getting possession until 2. And we got to the house. We got done with lunch. And they were so excited that we had to get to the house real quick. So we got to the house, and we were there about 1:40 at the house. And we get to the house. We get in through the lockbox to get into the house. And the house is pretty much stripped. It didn't look like anything like it did at the walkthrough at 9 o'clock. I mean, like, carpet's gone, toilet's gone. I mean, this house is stripped, countertop's gone. Everything you could possibly imagine is gone in the house that can go. And I'm kind of like, oh boy. And my clients are just like livid. And we're in the house, and we hear this big loud noise. And we go out to the front, and the seller had tied a chain around a basketball goal and around the axle of his truck and took off and tore his axle off his truck. And it was we had a conversation with the seller, and the seller told us that the agent told him that he could take anything that wasn't nailed down.
So the carpet had nails in it, right?
Tacked. It was tacks.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. So needless to say, we actually came out ahead on that because insurance and everything like that. The buyer came out ahead at the end, but I remember there was a couple of days there I wasn't sleeping real well. It was not a very good evening.
I bet. Wow. Okay, so that one, that's a big one. That takes the cake.
Yeah.
So Chris, tell me, why do you do what you do? What makes you tick? Why do you get out of bed every morning and do this?
Well, I remember the very first time that I was looking to buy a house in Manhattan, Kansas, the Little Apple, where K-State's at. And I remember the experience that I went through with my friends buying a property up there, the experience or bad experience we had. I don't want people to go through that. I want to be there just to help and help people. There's times that people call me and they're already using another real estate agent and they're having a bad experience and they want me to take over, and then I'll help you, but I'm not going to take over the transaction like that. I want people to have a positive experience. I just want to help people. I mean, that's just, my wife's a school teacher. She loves helping kids. I like helping people. And so that's my drive. That's the reason I'll wake up in the morning. And I don't look at this as a job. I look at, people go, well, how much did you do? How many homes did you sell today? Or what did you do here? I don't look at it like that. I look, how many people did I help this week? Because if you go out and help people, it's going to come back to you.
I can 100% believe exactly that, because I see it every Thursday morning when we're on the calls. You're always so willing to help out with someone who's having a challenge. And one of the realtors on there that's a rather new realtor, Phyllis, I know that you helped her through a situation, a question she had, and kind of started mentoring her. So that's just the type of person you are. So I love that about you. And that's why I was so excited to have you be the first person that we're interviewing and getting started with. And I wanted to let you know that I appreciate you in the group and everything that you add to the group. You're a valued asset in our community.
Well, it's kind of funny you said that because CJ and I were at lunch earlier. We're going through our schedule and stuff like that, just making sure everything's ready for closings and everything today. And I got a phone call from an agent that had a question. And it's somebody I met through the group out of the 190,000 agents in the group. I had a question. And she was getting different advice than what I was recommending. And she goes, why would you do it that way? And I was explaining to her the reason why I would do it that way. And she goes, wow, that makes sense. That's how it would work for me. And a lot of, the first thing, she was being told when she gets on the phone to be very energetic and excitable and stuff like that. And I said, have you done it? She goes, yeah. And I go, what happens? People hang up on me. And they go, yeah, you got to be excited. I go, no, if you're too excited, you're a salesperson. Just act yourself, be yourself. Mm-hmm. And what can I do to help you? And she started doing that, and we'll see what happens. Like that and stuff.
Yeah. Excellent. Love it. Love it. Okay. One last question. If I were to come out to visit you, where do we have to go to eat?
Oh my God. This is no joke. I had a relocation client coming in Saturday, and they asked me that very question. And I said, it depends. We have 5 really different types of barbecue here in Kansas City. And it depends on what you like. For the longest time, my wife and I we liked different barbecue. It's almost like different football teams in our family and stuff. There's wars about it, but you can go to a different barbecue restaurant in Kansas City for breakfast, lunch, and dinner and not hit the same place in 6 months. There's that many places.
Wow.
So it depends if you want to get dirty and have ribs and, just like you want food over your face, you're probably not going to go to Jack Stack. But if you want to go to a really nice barbecue place, you go to Jack Stack. Kansas City Joe's is really good. They got some really good pork, and they got some really good, their beef sandwiches. If you've never had burnt ends, Slaps is a great place for burnt ends. I would say come here for a weekend and try 3-4 different places out.
So I'm a brisket girl. What do you got for brisket?
Have you ever had burnt ends?
No. Burnt ends, is that what you're saying? Yes, I've had burnt ends.
If you've never had burnt ends and you're a brisket fan, after you have burnt ends, you'll never have brisket again.
Okay. Well, I guess I have to come to Kansas City to have them.
Yeah, burnt ends is like basically diced brisket, basically. So it's a little bit fattier, has a better taste to it. Brisket's really cut real thin, and you lose a lot of the taste. Or on burnt ends, they slow cook it, and then the last 15 minutes, that's when they put the barbecue sauce. That they put barbecue sauce on it, and it's got a good taste to it. It's got a little bit more fat on it, so it's got taste to it. To me, burnt ends destroys brisket all day long.
Okay.
Yeah, and I would say most people in Kansas City would agree with that.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess I've got to plan a trip out to Kansas City because I love some barbecue.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking your time today and hanging out with me. I can't wait to get this posted on our new YouTube channel, so people looking for houses in Kansas City can find you. And again, just appreciate all you do for our group.
Appreciate it, Debbie. I'll see you
All
tomorrow.
right. See you tomorrow.
Yes.